address some things that happened yesterday because, as you know, there were Senate confirmation hearings, and a lot of them are happening at the same time. But yesterday, Betsy DeVos was being questioned.
Yes. She is Trump's nominee for head of education.
Yes.
Everybody should know that.
And it was very interesting. I got to see bits and dribs and drabs like a lot of you. I did not get to sit and watch it end to end.
And she is a billionaire.
Yes, you and I were talking about that, about what must that be like.
A billionaire.
And I never want it to be that we hold it against somebody.
No.
If, if they have money or if their family had money or whatever that is.
If people have money and they use it for the public good,
hey,
that's fantastic. That's
absolutely.
wonderful.
But there were some troubling things that came up
during
in
the
this hearing. And I want to say this, that in watching the hearings, I think it's a really uncomfortable process. You're grilled and you're sitting there and it's people trying to get you to say something or to trap you to say something. It's not something that I would want to sign up to do.
It doesn't look comfortable at all.
But then things get said and then people talk about it and it becomes a big deal. But my whole thing as we talk about this is that I firmly believe that there's two types of ignorance. And none of us can know everything.
Right.
How could you possibly know everything? I can't know everything. I don't expect anybody to know everything.
Of course not.
So
can't.
We're all ignorant to some things. Right? So there's ignorance just by nature. And then there's ignorance by choice. And ignorance by choice is the one that I have a much harder time with. Because if I have the ability to find something out and I am expected to know it and I choose not to, then that is ignorance by choice. And please, before anybody says, I'm throwing rocks, there are times when I have chosen to be ignorant by choice. I think we all do. But if you are trying to be confirmed for a cabinet position in 2017, I think that choosing to be ignorant about the subject that you're supposed to know about, probably not the best choice.
So in this case, the subject being?
Betsy DeVos, yesterday, when asked certain things, showed some ignorance.
Yeah, she was grilled by Tim Kaine, who was the vice presidential nominee, as everybody knows.
Yes.
And rapid fire questioning, and he was very polite with her. I watched the clip.
Yeah.
She did seem to demonstrate a startling lack of knowledge of the biggest major federal civil rights law of those with disabilities. She did not seem to understand that it is federally mandated.
Yes. And so we're talking about IDEA, I-D-E-A.
Yes.
And, Tim Kaine was asking her questions about, did she think that it should be in public schools, private schools? And there was an answer that she gave for a lot of things.
She'd left up to the states.
She kept saying it was sort of her.
She was never. They kept saying, "Is this a yes or a no?" She would never say yes or no.
Yeah.
He would say, "So are you saying that some states might be good to kids with disabilities and other states might not be so good? And then what? People can just move around the country if their kid don't like how their kids are being treated?" And to that question, she said it should be left up to the states. He said, "I'd like to get a yes or a no from you. You're not under oath. I mean, you're not it's not a court of law.
Right.
But you are trying to get our votes, my vote, and I want a yes or a no. It should be left up to the states. It should be left up to the states." So Senator Maggie Hassan, who's a Democrat from New Hampshire, who has a son with a disability. I wonder if he has autism. I'm curious. I don't know. Yeah. Be interesting to see and maybe get her as a guest on this show. She challenged DeVos to explain whether she understood that the law was a federal civil rights law. She was very pointed in, you do understand that IDEA is a federal civil rights law. And DeVos said she may have confused it.
Yeah. And here's my thing about that is that we can go, okay, well, she got confused. But because she is a billionaire and because it's been weeks since she was announced as the person.
That's his choice.
She had time to prepare for this. She could have afforded to pay anyone to get her prepared.
To brief her. And
when we look at this, and 11.1% of our students here in the 11, so this is 2%, y'all.
Right. You can imagine what that hair would look like with 11. We're talking almost the whole front half of your head.
Are considered special education, and there are 9 million IEPs in the United States. I really have trouble with the fact that she was not prepared on that question.
I agree.
That to me suggests ignorance by choice, or she honestly didn't know that there are that many people that use this particular law with 11.1%. But even that, I'm like, if you know that you're preparing, wouldn't you take the time to find out?
You would think.
So whoever prepared her should be fired. And I don't know. It reminded me of so many things that I was like, that's not a good sign.
Right. No.
Not a good sign.
So we'll have to see.
And I was also disturbed by the fact that she would not say that she would not defund public schools. She declined to say that.
Right.
That was disturbing to me.
Right.
There were other things that for those of you who are interested in watching, Google when Al Franken was asking her questions, and she couldn't. He tried several times to get her to see the difference between growth and proficiency, and she wasn't getting it. And if any of you former teachers, not understanding the difference between growth and proficiency is huge.
Yeah.
Huge lack of preparation.